Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Hello, everyone. So good to see everyone. Thank you so much for making it. This is great to have. Thank you so much. Yes. Ya hala fikum. You know, this is going to be an English session, yes? So I believe it's my first session, live session on Instagram in English. So I think this will really benefit all our friends out there that need to practice English or actually are understanding English and they're all good. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nice seeing everybody. Wishing you all well. Thank you so much. Hello, Amna. Thank you. Hello. Hi. So let's wait for a little bit until people gather together and then we can start, inshallah. It's such a pleasure having everybody. It's such a pleasure being here on Careers UAE. I feel very honored and thankful that this opportunity has come up, and whoever is on this chat is definitely meant to be here بإذن I'm good. Thank you so much. Thank you. لا هو السيشن باللغة الإنجليزية مش باللغة العربية. The session today is going to be an English session. And let me try to see how we can pin okay, let me see how we can pin the subject. Does anybody know how to pin the subject? I think it's important that we do. Okay, anyway, so today's topic is going to be how to lead your career to success in challenging times. So it's, as you all know, welcome to Careers UAE. Careers UAE is a great platform for everyone out there, from students all the way to the top, people who are trying to network with companies, whether government, semi-government, or even private companies out there, dealing with from students all the way up to current employees. They help you get opportunities together. You're able to, there's a big event that they do usually every year in Dubai World Trade Center, where it's Careers UAE. It's a huge platform where you can meet all the private companies, government agencies, and semi-government, so that you guys can probably and hopefully find opportunities, inshallah. So let us go ahead and start. I believe that I usually take about 5 minutes to warm up and have people walk in, but if the number is usually around that number, so then we will go ahead and start. So let's talk a little bit about how to lead your career to success in difficult times. So here's the situation, as we all know, that we are dealing with a very unique time in this world. Everybody is in this together. The world is, I don't want to use the word suffering, but there is a pandemic that's going around. Yes, there are people that are ill. Yes, there are people that are dying. And yes, there are people that are also alive and thriving. And we wish that everybody gets well very soon and we all pass this pandemic very quickly. However, having that said, it is known that in time of struggle and in time of turmoil, opportunities come up. Opportunities come up only when you are ready for them and when you're open to them. Opportunities don't come up handed over to you. You actually have to do hard work. So if I were to start with the first question, what are some of the soft skills that you need nowadays to keep it high and keep it together and keep yourself motivated and be positive? How do you even get there? What are some of those skills that you're going to have to use, tap into to keep it alive and to be able to thrive? I want to start with a very short story. And it's a personal story that I went through personally. At one point in time, about 8 years ago, I was always a working mother, always in education, and went from vice principal to principal and all the way to the top, and to becoming C-level. But then at one point, after becoming principal and spent that for 10 years, I felt that I had a change of heart. And this change of heart really kind of took me into a very difficult time. It ended me 5 years in severe depression. And yes, it was depression. It was actually something that was out of my control. A lot of people ask me, Maya, how could you have let yourself slip into something like this? How would you have dealt with? Why couldn't you control it? Why could you not control your sadness? It wasn't something that was up to me. Again, it's not something that you choose. If you were to choose to be happy, you would have been happy all your life. You wouldn't be worried. You'd be always ecstatic and jumping, even if it was just if you were okay in COVID-19. But it's trying to get a grip on who you are as a being and who you aspire to be is a lot of hard work. I always like to say that love and positivity takes a lot out of you. It's almost like it's not almost like, it is actually like, when you want to lose weight and you say in your mind, okay, I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to go and I'm going to start on this diet. Believe it or not, the diet is going to take some urgency, that you stop your cravings, that you stop thinking about food. You have to be in that mental state where you're ready. There's that hunger that you have to go through. And then you have to start that workout regimen that you're not used to. You're actually putting your muscles to a test. And will you be able to make it? Yes. Do a lot of people don't make it? Yes, they don't. Some people don't make it. Why? Because they don't have it. They don't have enough intention and focused intention and focused motivation to be able to get them there. Why? Because motivation is actually hard work. It's a muscle. We think it's a skill, but it's a skill that you train a muscle in your brain to be able to be motivated. And that only comes from within. It only comes from healthy mental health, from healthy well-being. Well-being today is a big terminology that even the United Arab Emirates is trying to instill and support students at school since last year and this year. Mashallah, there's been a curriculum called well-being and another curriculum called moral education, and it's also become a hip, if you may, a hip thing that even employees in the government are requesting it. Employees at schools, teachers are also requesting it, and it actually came in very handy in this time in COVID-19. Coming from somebody, I'm considered the first PhD scholar to research emotional intelligence and its effect on leadership in the MENA region. And having that title is quite of a responsibility, but it came from a personal struggle. As I was going through my depression, when depression hit me rock bottom, it wasn't just my career and did I really find myself in my job. Actually, a very dear friend, her daughter died, and she died at 18 and she was about to get into university, and from there onwards it was like, to me, like it was somebody just slapped me in the face and woke me up. And when I was it's almost like I was sleeping and you're just suddenly awakened. There's new smells that you start realizing, and you look and you start observing more, you start listening more, you start thinking more, and you begin to analyze more. And a lot of the analytical thoughts that came to my mind were the questions: why? Why were we even born? Why were we even here? Why am I even going through struggle? Why on earth do I have to deal with this life? At the time I was married, I had three children. They were all young. They needed a mom. My husband needed me at the time, and my parents. But then again, there is this other layer that's called a societal layer, a layer where we are afraid to come out of our skin and come out of the closet and actually say that we are depressed and that we need help. This story was about 8 years ago, and at the time it was almost taboo that you don't utter a word of what you're having to deal with, and it was something that I had to deal with on my own. Today you look at yourself in COVID-19 and you're thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? I'm alone. Imagine being alone in this little space. Imagine that those thoughts go so deep, so negative, that you're actually thinking of hurting yourself. I remember thinking, I have a special needs child, and at the time I thought to myself, if I hurt myself, then where will I throw her? Where will she have to live and deal with? I come out to people with my story. Yes, I'm an Emirati national, and yes, I'm pure Arab to the core. But I've learned that sharing is caring, And it is humility that takes you a long way as you're leading your life. You could be the best, the best image of yourself. But if you have that ego that's driving you, then that's going to be something that you're going to be suffering from for the rest of your life until you actually are awakened. We all have egos and we all have to deal with it. But humility, I noticed, really, really grabs people's attention and people start listening to you. During those 5 years, I was able to research. I didn't believe in going to a doctor or a medical practitioner or whatever, and I thought to myself, I need to take reins of this. I disagree with that idea, by the way. I really believe that you need to take good care of yourself. And it was after my 4 years of struggle that I actually got help, because I really, really gave up. 4 years is a long time. Waking up every morning feeling that you're alone in this space and that you feel that you are just worthless, although you have everything in the world and you have everything going for you. But then your image, the way you think of you is what matters. And then there was this other factor that was also going on in my life, and that was the fact that I'm a Muslim. And I knew I was a Muslim. I prayed, and today, mashallah, is Ramadan, we believe in Allah and we believe in this. But at the time when you're rock bottom, your mental health takes you to very scary places. You begin to think and you begin to question. Even you begin to question existence of universe, of Allah, of energy, of Jesus, if you may. I mean, this is, I learned that you have to have that you shouldn't have that judgment of others, because we all speak the same language at the end of the day. We all believe in this superpower that is in our heads and that we have to over our heads, that are just taking care of us. It's just a matter of getting yourself together and gathering yourself together to be the better version of you. It's not to be the better version of Aliya or Maryam or Rashid or Ahmed. It's not that. You've got it wrong. You're not here to be compared to others and to get people thinking that you're less than others. You're actually very unique. You're unique genetically, DNA wise. I mean, my eye color is very different than yours. And even if we were the same, there's a very slightest difference in between. The hair color, the facial, we talk about facial expression, we talk about skin color, we talk about fingerprint. But also, your personality is different and the way you think is different. You can never find everybody thinking the same and believing in the same. And for you to be able to converge, we talk in the United Arab Emirates, year of tolerance. And do you know what really tolerance is all about? And I will get to that, because these are one of the soft skills that we speak about are really the basics. No matter how high in rank you get to be, no matter how much of a degree you have in terms of certification, PhD, professorship, or any kind of degree certification that you can ever imagine, or any university that you've hit and you've always aspired to get to. But really, when you go back down to the basics, it's all about kill them with kindness and being the best version of you. Because if you don't have a stable mental health, simply able to love, able to be kind, able to be happy, able to be content, able to be tolerant. And by the way, I'm not talking about all these of others. You have to start with yourself. Are you able to love yourself? Are you able to be content with yourself, tolerant of yourself, kind to yourself? Emotional intelligence came from those 5 years of struggle. And because I believe that YouTube really saved my life. At the time, Wi-Fi was there. I remember my son today, he tells me, "Mom, I can't believe you lived in a world where there was no Wi-Fi." We didn't even have mobile phones, and I'm sure even my parents didn't even have the digital phones. So I was lucky that I feel lucky, but I also know I'm blessed, because it was meant to be the way it is. We all have our different journeys, and my journey had YouTube in it, and it saved my life. Because I was a curious soul. I needed to find out why I was suffering, what is going on, what am I dealing with. Again, I didn't want to open up to anybody. I didn't want to say anything to anybody, because I knew that they would judge me. And I knew that the people don't want to be around depressed people. They don't want to be with negative people. They only want to be happy. They only want to live their happy life. Yet we know that happiness is a myth. You create your own happiness. You create your own content. You're the one that designs your journey. It's you. I realized that it was me that had to help me. No matter how many friends I had, no matter the support I had, I could be talking to you, could be listening to me right now. I'm one messenger coming to tell you that this too shall pass. It will pass, because it passed for me. But it was a lot of work. It's just something that you have to keep at it. We think and we say life is a test. Yes, it is a test, but don't think of it as this way. Because if you think of it, I don't like taking tests. I don't like it. I don't like taking exams. I have an exam next month. I don't like it. But it's just the way life is. You are always going to be put in a position where you have to choose. The test here is the choice. Red, green, white, black. Negative, positive. It's not something that you should be scared of. You should believe in your journey, but you never believe in it until it passes, until you really realize the skills that you've learned. In Islam, we have a Prophet's hadith that says, إذا أحب الله عبدا ابتلاه, and I will translate. If Allah loves His servant, He will give him turmoil. He will put him in turmoil. And that was something to think about. I mean, how do you love somebody and you hurt them? How does that work? In fact, there's a very deep meaning to it. And look, let's learn the skills from this. So when you're actually in turmoil and you're falling apart, and after you cry and after you're shocked, there are five senses, or five, let's say, senses/skills that start working. Number one, silence. When you are in shock, you're silent. You don't want to talk. You want to be alone in your own world. You only want to be whoever you want to be. So you're silent. Autopilot, automatically, you'll have listening skills start triggering. And when you're listening with paying attention. Those two start working. Then you begin to observe. So you start observing. You learn how to observe in silence, and you start listening to people better. Then, when all these three start working, you have the thinking, analytical skills. Naturally, alone, start asking questions. The fifth thing that you learn, and that is the most important and the last skill that we learn, and that is patience. You never know how much you have grown from patience until you passed it. So when I looked at my 5 years and I came out and I said, wow, I actually did it. You don't realize that you're patient during, but you know that you're patient after you've endured it, after you've put your grounds down, after you've actually worked hard. Coming out of depression is hard work. It's because resilience. It's something that you want to do. It's a choice that you make. But the skills that you learn, silence, deep listening skills, thinking skills, observing, then thinking, then patience. Those skills are 5 skills that are innately or by training found in the leader of today. Those 5 skills. You learn them naturally. It's a gift from God. And that's why we say in monotheistic religions in general that times of turmoil are good times. So when we look at the time that we're in today, look at the shift. You guys, you are witnessing evolution as we speak. You are witnessing a time in life where everything is changing and you're actually seeing it in front of your eyes. And not only that, you're actually taking a part of it. So if COVID-19, I say thank you. I have learned so much in COVID-19 about myself, you will not believe. I cannot say I'm the perfect. I'm the perfectionist at this. Oh, I got this, I can manage it. No. I found out after the 5 years, I dove up, right? I started my PhD, did very well, success, social media influencer, tolerance night, ambassador of knowledge, TEDx speaker, adjunct faculty. I work back office. I'm a consultant. I'm on boards here and there, and I love what I do. Yeah, but guess what? Motivational speaker as well. But there are times where I actually I dip really low. I go back to my normal self. Feelings are very normal to feel them. They're called feelings. You have to feel fear. You have to feel strength. You have to feel feelings of boredom, of happiness, of sadness. Those are normal. You can't be human if you don't feel those. But the trick happens when you need to control them. Get a grip. Put yourself together. I actually have a notebook that I write things on. I take notes of my thoughts because I like to come back to them and I like to think on them. Things like, what am I going to do now? It took me 2 weeks to wake up from COVID-19, literally. Just 2 weeks, it's like another slap, right? The first slap was waking up. I felt that was my awakening. I kind of found my purpose, through emotional intelligence and my research and doing this, helping you improve and helping you get better, because that's what I devoted my life. I felt that this is my purpose. But then at the same time, you kind of begin to do it, how do I say, like it's the norm. And sometimes when you're really stuck in a corner again, you're put to that test again. What are you going to do now? Literally, with all the positivity that I have and all the, the belief in the future and the belief in the better future and the belief in God that I've raised and that I've had and instilled in me, I dropped 2 weeks. It just took me 2 weeks just to understand that this room is going to be my world. This screen and people who I don't interact with anymore. I'm this social body. What am I going to do with my life? This doesn't sound right. But then I noticed and I realized, looking at my history shows me that bad times could be the best times for opportunities. The best times where you can actually create and reinvent yourself and say, I'm going to do something. This is it. It forces you creativity skills. It forces you to think out of the box. No. There's no such thing as think out of the box anymore. I believe there's no box. It's a space. It's a digital cloud. It's where everybody is sharing knowledge and you become a global citizen, a global student, a global learner. I could be here. I could hire somebody from Egypt or hire somebody from China or hire somebody from the UK and pay him less. Because now I know that teachers don't have to be available face-to-face. They can do a marvelous job online as well. So you begin to have these mind shifts. So if you're thinking, I need to get a job, guys, you can actually find your own job online. You can actually find your own it. But then the question is, what is that it? What is that passion that you're craving? Who are you? What is your purpose? It could be that you're too young to ask these questions today. I don't think so. I think that the more that you're in this digital space, you need to know who you are you have to redefine who you are in a digital space as a digital being. Because you have to know how to be relevant. How am I going to be relevant? How am I going to be accessible? You need to dig deep. I can't give you those. It's you who needs to find out, what do you really love? What are you so into? But remember, there are two things you have to put in mind as you're looking for that it. Okay, number one. When we say you have to have goals and you have to have vision. Great. Every time I ask people what goals and vision what a goal and what a vision is, I get the same answer. But there's one answer that a lot of people know, but it doesn't really come to their minds. Okay, so hear this. This is something, I really think this is gold. Gold. You know how when you walk into universities, schools, government, any building, any government, not just government, any company out there, any organization, they have to have a vision and a mission statement. So you have the vision on top and you have the goals on top. Same as people. You too, you have to have that vision and you have to have that goal. If I ask you what are your goals, you're going to be able to tell me immediately. I want to be a doctor, I'm going to be a minister, I'm going to be vice principal, I'm going to be, I don't know if anybody wants to be vice principal anymore, but anyways. So you're gonna have all these goals. I want to travel, I wanna get my master's, I need to finish my bachelor's, I need to get a certification in CPA, so on and so forth. But then what is your vision? Vision is 5-10 years moving forward in the future? No, it's still in goals. You're still dealing with goals. When you put in time limit, it's a goal. So what's the difference between goals and vision? And you have to have both. Goals are always tangible, are always that you can see and you can touch and you arrive to. Yes? Second thing about goals are selfish to you. I hate to use the word selfish, but it's the truth. They're yours. Nobody owns them. You love them. You just have to find that goal that you really want. Okay. So goals are tangible. You actually see them. You actually get to the job. You actually travel. You actually buy. You actually do all these beautiful things. And they're yours. Okay? Even if they're like 10 years down the line, they're yours. However, you have to have a vision. And vision is the complete opposite. Vision is something that you don't touch. You don't see. Because it deals with quality. It deals with a higher order purpose. It deals with, I'm selfish with my goals. I want to be different. But I don't want to be different for me. I want to be different for others. I want to help others. I want to get better at what I do and produce and do excellence, because I want to provide excellence to other people out there that need that help. So a vision is always going to be about others. It's all about what you're going to do with your skills and with your production and with the better version of you to give others. The second thing in a vision is that it's for the improvement of a good life and a good world. So it's very, I want to say, utopic. It's a utopian idea, an ideology. It's all about things that you don't touch. It's something that you don't see. It's something that you feel, and it's about giving for others. So this is the main difference between vision and goals that people forget. And the reason why a lot of us are depressed or don't know what they want to do or feel lost in the world is because they're only self-centered. They only think about them. That's important. Please do. Please do. But keep in the back of your mind that you have to have a vision. Because at the end of the day, if we were brought to this earth to be alone, only just you. Imagine you living on this earth, just you. Can you deal with it? Why would we even have in monotheistic religions heaven and hell and this world being a test and that we will be questioned for our deeds? In fact, if you were brought to this earth alone, you wouldn't have to worry about that because there's really nothing to be tested on. Think about it. It's philosophical. But once you add an extra being to the mix, you add another human being on this planet Earth, it's there where you begin to be questioned. And it's those skills that you have to learn for yourself, but also to help others. Emotional intelligence is the number one skill in the World Economic Report 2018 that is needed in all jobs, in every sector you can imagine. Emotional intelligence hit the top main skill needed to be able to manage a world with artificial intelligence and every other being on this earth as well. So if we were to say, what are some of those important skills? Again, let me tell you what emotional intelligence is. Emotional intelligence is 5 things. Number 1, who am I? Who are you? I like majboos, I like biryani. No, that's not it. What are the beautiful things that you have? Think about it. Don't ignore it. You deserve it. You're unique. You're different. You can. But we don't look at us. We look at others. We're bothered with what people are doing and what people are achieving, and we tend to applaud them. That's great. But what about you? Who am I? Invest on your positives. Invest on the best things that you have. I was a curious soul. I used my curiosity in intellect. I used my curiosity to answer questions, to find the answers to why. What is my purpose? Why am I on this earth? Is there a God? Those questions are from a skill called curiosity. What I did was researched and tried to find the answer. And that's what made me the speaker that I am today. That's what made me the PhD scholar that I am today. And that's what made me the unique Maya that I am today. Are there a lot of people out there that are, trained in emotional intelligence? Of course. But what I did, and that was different, is that I would go back to the first word I used, humility. I used my story to help others. I used my story to tell people that you're okay, you're not alone, it's normal. Emotional intelligence, number 1, you check on you. Who am I? Number 2, you control you. So if you're stubborn, you look at the positives and you look at negatives. I don't like to say negatives, I like to say room for improvement. So it's where you can fix. What are the things that can help you get better? So if you're stubborn, go back to the roots. Why are you stubborn? If you have a temper, why do you have a temper? What's going on? If you're depressed, why are you depressed? Try to resolve it. Number 2, control it. Trying to resolve is number 2. Number 3, when you are able to fix you, you never fix you, by the way. You never fix it, but it gets better. It gets better with time. Then you're able to motivate yourself to go to work. So if I ask you today, even at home, are you motivated to come to the office in your home? Or my son's office, and he goes to school, is the bed. He actually opens his laptop on his bed. But you know what? He wakes up excited. For some reason, the kids nowadays, they like this version of COVID, the artificial intelligence and all this beautiful gadgets that comes with it. I feel like the kids like it. But after 18, it hits you. It's not you. 18 to 27, 28 are bothered by being alone on a screen. Can you imagine? Anybody under 18 are managing it, like 17, 16 and below, they're having the time of their life. Once you hit that 18 and above, people are suffering because we're used to being out, coffee, we use the phone to take pictures. I do that, yeah, I do that. But it seems that we spend our time doing that. It seems like we're spending our time focused more on the leisure part of happiness and not on the actual fixing the source of happiness. Happiness, yes, is a myth. I said that. It becomes a myth only when you don't work hard to produce. Because number 4 in emotional intelligence, you get better to motivate yourself to be able to give back to others. To be able, are you able to understand society is number 4. And number 5, are you able to manage and deal with society? Are you able? Or do you not just cry, but you actually hurt a lot? Do you judge? Are you envious? Are you mean? Are you thrifty? Are you are you unkind? Do you go by the fact, kill them with kindness? What do you do? Are you forgiving? All these are questions that you have to keep in mind. Today, artificial intelligence will take over. It's a fact. But that doesn't mean that human beings will be replaced. No. It means that our roles have to be redefined. We have to find ways to be relevant in a digital space, or else we will go extinct. Not everybody will go extinct. Some people will go extinct. Their jobs, I mean. And without jobs, how are we going to put food on the table at the end of the day? Yes, we have a God, and yes, God is going to take care of us. But also God says, you need to work. You need to get it on and make sure that you can be the better version of you. So if I were to say, what are some of the skills that you need for today to reinvent yourself, to be the best version of you? Emotional intelligence. Go do your research on it. Try to understand how to conduct a SWOT analysis. That's 101 that we do for organizations. I don't think that a lot of people have the idea that a SWOT analysis can also be done on human beings as well. You can sit alone in your room and you can say, I'm gonna take reins of my life. This is not gonna scare me. This is not the end of the world for me. I'm gonna be able to become the better version of myself, the best version of myself. Remember, in a digital space, you need to be relevant. You need to be adaptive. You have to adapt to the change. After 2 weeks of me waking up and thinking that, oh my God, this is my new world. Remember, we lived in Dubai. We had 24-hour lockdown for 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It was an issue. Like literally, I didn't leave the house like at all. And for me to, such a social body, to be stuck at home was shocking, fearful. And mind you, I didn't leave the house, but I also was afraid of getting sick. That got to my head. I had to get a grip and think, no. Take my precautions. If you want to get a grip on my mind, you say get a grip. Get a grip means find solutions to your problems. Nobody can help you find a solution because you know your problem best. Sometimes the problem is within you. It's within your mental health. It's a little thing that you need to, fix that to begin creativity. The highest, most used emotion in mankind is fear. Although God has created us with only 2 kinds of fear, not anything else. We're only afraid, like biologically, we're only afraid of falling because that loses your balance. As a human being, we like to be in control, right? And the second type of fear is of loud noises. So any other fear is mental or environmental or societal, or it's just because of all the negative vibes you're seeing around you. Yes, it does put you down. But remember, because negativity is more popular, if you may, it's more popular. People use it more. So you're more prone to that energy, so you could be sucked into it. However, the positive soul, or an energetic soul, or a giving soul, will stick out like a sore thumb. It will stick out. Are you that energetic, positive soul? Can you be that? Can you defeat your negative side and believe in the higher order purpose and higher order energy that you were brought to this earth to? I believe you can. And I believe that all the people that came today to listen to me speak are meant to be listening to something that will touch your heart and will touch your mental health and make you hopefully improve to the better. Because I know from personal experience that nothing is a coincidence. There is no luck anymore that I believe in. I know that everything in the world is meant to be the way it is, because our journeys are meant to be the way they are. God bless. Thank you so much. And I am ready to take questions if you have anything you'd like to ask. Okay, so we have a question here from Nadwa. How do you recommend to fix oneself? How do you speak to yourself and figure yourself out in a healthy way? That's a very good question, because it's something that, today I was anxious. For me, anytime popping up on a stage is supposed to be the norm, right? I was talking to a very good friend recently, and I was telling him, is it because he's also a motivational speaker, and I said, isn't it normal that we still have a little stomach ache, when we are on stage? And he says, Maya, it's normal. If you're not fearful, it's abnormal. So can you imagine, with all the history that I have, you still have butterflies in your tummy, and that's very okay. So what I do to fix that, I talk to myself. I don't sit in front of a mirror. People can do that. But I actually literally, for me, it works to open up a page, an empty page, and I say, okay, what am I scared of? So I will say, okay, I don't know if I'm ready today. So okay, if I'm not ready today, Maya, get ready. So for every issue that is bothering me, I will literally sit down and write up a solution. And remember, your solutions need to be logical. Don't come up with difficult solutions, because that will break you. It'll make you feel that you didn't do the job right. But it could be that the solution was far-fetched to actually really, aspire to. So be realistic. Try to find solutions that speak to your environment and speak to your circumstances. That makes a big difference, by the way. So for every problem, I would make a solution. I would put down a solution and write it down. I have another notebook that I use, and I will show you. And this notebook actually has my name in Arabic in. Believe it or not, I have my goals set for 5 years, and I look at them. I have it on a timeline, and I open it every day, and I remind myself where I want to go and what I want to do and what I want to be. And I wake up every morning with that intention, that I want to be the better me, and I have something I need to do. I was brought to this earth, I believe that. It's a belief that I was brought to this earth to do something. And I know what it is. And I know that every day I'm working towards it. But it's that motivation to get you to work alone. That motivation to get you self-disciplined. Self-disciplined is just, this big word that you have to put in mind. And are you self-disciplined? In this time, you need to be. And if you're not, get it. Start training yourself. Because it will really help you and save you time down the line. You will find yourself that you are more organized, more planned, because you're more self-disciplined. That you were able to work in COVID-19 alone, manage your time, get results done, get some money in, but at the same time, alhamdulillah, when COVID-19 is over and we're back to our working spaces, you're better, you're faster, you can do things. Okay, so I hope I got your question. I'm so sorry for those that think that this is an Arabic session. It isn't. It was always, the whole ad campaign was in English. There was no Arabic at all. So I'm sorry that you're disappointed, but I usually have other sessions in Arabic, and those are many. This is a very rare session that is in English, and I'm thankful to Careers UAE for giving me this opportunity, because I was always requested to be speaking in English. What leadership qualities do I need to have to be a leader or climb in my career? Very good question. So, the leader of today, I will repeat what I mentioned because they're very important. A leader of today needs to have good silence skills, good listening skills, good observation skills, analytical thinking skills, patience. Yeah? Those are the 5 qualities of a leader. Now, because we're in a digital era, you need to have some kind of digital literacy. Very important to stay relevant. You have to be, because you are digitally literate, you have to be creative. So now this comes to the nitty-gritty things. Now, all this, the 5 skills that I mentioned, comes under emotional intelligence. How do you take care of your mental health to improve on the listening skills, on the silence skills, on the critical thinking skills, analytical skills, and patience skills? Now, you'll say communication skills is very important. Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. But the reason I say silence, because silence is a virtue. Not many people perfect silence. Silence is a skill. A lot of people can talk. Sorry, okay, I think I lost you there. When we try, but all cosmos have decided to follow us, how can I do? All right. Yes, some people believe that, and I respect that. They believe that the cosmos, that the stars are aligned in a certain way. No, again, they're aligned because you want them to be aligned that way. They speak to your energy. Actually, in one of my live sessions about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had a session on focused intention. And you have so much energy in you that you can, if you focus your intention, you'll be able to get to where you want to get. And this way, the cosmos will be aligned based on your intention. Let me show you an example. This is a spoon that I bent 3 weeks ago. And then after the spoon, I went on live with my followers. And the whole idea of this spoon is that if you're able to focus your intention, you can even bend metal. This is a real spoon, yeah? It's a real spoon. And I bent this personally in 4 minutes and 48 seconds. It took longer than expected. I expected it to bend in 2 minutes or 1 minute because 2 years ago I used to bend it that quickly. It took a while because I am so scatterbrained. I did this in COVID. I was still worried, still afraid, still thinking. I had other thoughts that are coming in my head. And it took me 4 minutes and 48 seconds to bend the spoon. So basically, the cosmos are there. And if I were to be a little deeper, Allah is there. The universe, the energy, the superpower, the God that you want is there. It's what you believe in Him. What you believe, you will get. What you believe, you will attract. That's what the cosmos science says. Because for every action, there is a reaction. There's an equal or reciprocal reaction. I hope I answered your question. Why am I always afraid of experiencing anything? And this thing has become for me after graduation and sitting at home. Oh my God, there's nobody more than me that's fearful. I am so afraid you will not believe. In fact, I not only went through depression those 5 years, there's a longer version story, by the way, but I actually had anxiety. I still suffer from anxiety, and that's normal. I am not a technology gal at all. You will laugh. I recently opened my first online banking application. I feel so bad, but when they stopped banks, you couldn't go to banks. And I had to wire some money. We had to spend, right? So I had to break that fear. I'm a trainer, a certified trainer on soft skills and emotional intelligence, positivity, happiness. Can you imagine? My bread and butter is training on some level. Can you imagine that kind of stopped? So what am I going to do? I had to get on the wagon and start learning technology, Zoom, WebEx, FaceTime. I don't know if people are using Skype, Microsoft Teams. There's the other one, to go training. I tried that yesterday. I became immune. So the best way to face your fears, to solve your fears is by facing them. What is the source? Why are you afraid of them? But once you are comfortable, oh my God, the feeling, you feel so accomplished, you feel like you've done something so big, it makes a difference. About 3 months ago, I remember skydive was on my bucket list. I wanted to do skydive. Like, that was it. So as soon as a big milestone happened in my life 3 months ago, and I thought to myself, that's it, I'm doing it. I booked on the 21st, I think it was the 21st of February, and I went up on that drop, and I actually tandem and I threw myself with a trainer. It was the best feeling ever. Watching everything from on top was beautiful. I felt so accomplished, and I felt like I broke that fear. What else could you be afraid of? I used to be afraid of heights. I don't know if I can do bungee jumping though. Maybe one day. Maybe. That's something I'm always afraid of. We'll see. So basically, face your fears. We need support from someone as the first step. Absolutely. You know, public speaking, people like me, there are a lot of people. Happy UAE. Look at Careers UAE. They're trying their best to help you grow, to help you find yourself, listening to people, doing your research. You know, whether you are a read and write learner, or you're a audio visual or kinesthetic learner or listener, like people like to listen to Audible, do it. Find your mojo. There is no wrong. There is no wrong way of learning. It's all learning. It's just use whatever makes you comfortable to break those barriers and get that best version of you out. Is it really hard to be different, to stand out with all the self-doubt? How do you think we can keep going? Here I will tell you, you need to talk to somebody. Do you have a best friend or a sister, or somebody that will not judge you? Somebody that will always be there for you, will be ready to listen to you. That's why people go to therapists, or life coaches. Of course, you need to be very careful which life coach you choose. I'm not a life coach, and I'm not a therapist. I'm an academic, and I do emotional intelligence, and I do motivational speaking because it's something I love doing and I'm passionate about, and I believe in experiences and sharing, because sharing is caring. Now, if you have a lot of self-doubt, you need definitely to talk to somebody. Why? Because when you start looking at the positives and you say, wow, I'm actually good, you're never going to see yourself good. You need somebody to tell you, you're actually very good, by the way. That's why I said you need somebody that doesn't judge you. When you pay for your service, it's a good thing in a strange way, because you're able to get honesty. You're able to get the real deal. But believe me, emotional intelligence, number one, who am I? You're a beautiful thing. You're a beautiful soul. You just need to find you in that. That's it. Who are you? Positive? Room for improvement. Put them again. I love writing and taking notes down. Sometimes I'm driving and an idea pops up and I feel like I want to share. And I immediately, because I know that it'll go. I know that those sparks are moments of creativity. So I open up my notes on my phone and I will take the note down. I know, not while driving, but I know you know what I mean. Like, you try to get it done quickly at the traffic light or whatever. Anyway, so self-doubt is normal. At one point and a lot of point coming up on this screen today, I have so much confidence. But there is that little doubt that you say, oh my God, am I going to be actually up to the mark? Am I going to really wow everybody? You have that. That's normal. But don't let it get you. You be in control of it. It's easier said than done. It's not easy. It's a journey. Can you please save the life? Absolutely, of course. Of course I will. What factor will we consider to take the right decision? Okay. So there are two things to make decision making. You have to do the research. So you want to take a certain decision. You have to do the research. Why? Okay, how am I going to do it? I want to open a business. Okay, do I have the means? You have to look at the environment. Research everything you can about the topic, about the urgency, about the environment, the market, sustainability, budgeting, employees, how are you going to do it, the digital part of it. That's important, right? However, there's another factor that you need to do, and that is you need to tap into spiritually and within and with people. So consult. So basically do the research, and number 2, consult. Consult family, friends, networks, get on live Instagram, live LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, and try to ask, do you think this is a good time? Do you think this is a good thing? Gather as many opinions as you can, and then after that, still consulting. I say consult God, because in Islam we have something called istikhara. Or for other people, spiritually. Consult yourself. Think within. Is this the right thing? Is this the thing that you want? Is this something that you're passionate about, that you're in love with, that you really want to do? So that makes a whole lot of a difference. It's 2 steps. How to make a passion your career. Any suggestions? Passion comes from loving an activity. Loving an activity. So people start their passion with a hobby. And definitely, not maybe, that hobby transpires into some form of passionate career that you love. Now, I worked for 15 years in a job I didn't like. I thought I liked it, but I didn't like it. But I learned so much. I learned that not every job that you don't like, you're not good at. I was actually very good at my job. So that kind of, the praises and the applause and the awards, they kept me going. But was I passionate really about it? No. So in the afternoon, I used to teach adult learning. So I was always into education, but I didn't really enjoy high school and below. I enjoyed high school and beyond. So I used to teach at universities as an adjunct faculty. And then even with the ambassador, I was given the title Ambassador of Knowledge. I was also training employees in government on volunteering, on how to volunteer and the importance of volunteering, and just raising that awareness of a volunteer, thought and idea. So basically, your passion comes with time, and it could start part-time. It could start part-time, but later on, you might you become an entrepreneur in this. So passion you will find slowly, but it starts from hobbies. It starts from hobbies. How would you influence, convince leaders, corporate and family to raise awareness on the importance of EQ? Oh my God, the research that has been done. Do you know that also in the World Economic Report, EQ is more important than IQ by 80% to succeed in a job. So the percentage for your success in a job depends on EQ and not on IQ. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. How can I persuade the manager that I am correct employee? Guys, I don't know why I have 44 minutes remaining on my screen. That doesn't sound right. Is there a time limit on this? I have a lot of questions to go. How do we master forward thinking attitude? Do Do you give training? I think I'm worried that I will be not be able to answer all these questions. I wish, definitely, I would love to be on this again. I think we need another hour as well.